Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I'm outside enjoying the gorgeous weather today. It is absolutely beautiful. The temperatures are just right and I can't get enough vitamin D. Of course, I have to be careful with my skin because you know what happens as we age. We have to be super careful and make sure we wear enough protection. You may hear some noise in the background. Those are my neighbors. They're literally in my backyard, okay? I live in Arlington, Virginia, and the homes here have very little backyard. So I apologize for that, but hopefully you can hear me okay. But anyway, guys, I'm very excited because I'm going to be using the beads from the Misty Moon's treasure bag, which was released about 3 weeks ago by Gina from GGC's Treasures. And if you don't know who she is, I'll leave a link to her website down below, okay? So you can go check it out. She puts out treasure bags from time to time, okay? And they're absolutely wonderful. So if you don't want to miss out on any of her releases, I strongly recommend that you go to her website and sign up for notifications, okay? So that you don't miss out. But anyway, guys, even if you weren't lucky enough to purchase the Misty Moon's treasure bag, don't worry because I'll leave a list of all the materials down below in the description section of this video, okay? Hopefully you can do a Google search and find similar items. And even if you don't find similar items, that's okay too. Perhaps I can give you some inspiration to create a piece of your own. And if you like cage pendants and you like aromatherapy, then this is the video for you, okay? You can put all kinds of little things inside that cage pendant. You can put trinkets, you can put flower buds, you can put crystals, anything you want. But my favorite thing to put in there are lava rock beads. And I like to put a few drops of essential oils on my lava rock beads. I'm going to show you how to do that in this video, okay? I know some of you don't like scented things. I'm actually a little bit picky when it comes to perfumes and things. I don't wear perfumes anymore for some reason. I used to when I was younger, but now that I've gotten older, I've gotten really picky and my scents have to be very, very mild. So even my shampoos and my shower gels have to be scented very, very lightly. But anyway, guys, I could do a whole video on that and I don't want to do that. I want to focus on today's tutorial. So anyway, before we get started, I want to remind you about the timestamps down below. I always leave them down there in case you want to skip forward to any portion of the video, okay? And if you're new and you haven't subscribed, please think about doing so because it really does help my channel. It helps the algorithms and it helps me as a content creator to create more videos for you. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the tutorial. Okay, let me go over the materials. Here's the pendant that I'm going to be using. It's a cage pendant and it's in an antique bronze finish, as you can see. It measures 29 by 23 by 17 millimeters. Now sometimes because of the finish they can be a little bit difficult to open initially because the clasp can get stuck sometimes, but if you use a cloth or something and then just very gently pry it open like this, it should be okay after that, okay? It's just the initial opening of it that can be a little tricky. But anyway, guys, I love this pendant because you can put anything you want in here, okay? You can put flowers, you can put lava rock beads in here, you can put crystals, you can put in your favorite keepsake, you can put in whatever you want. You can put a lot of things in here. For instance, if you have some earrings that you want to take off for whatever reason, you can put them in here. I can think of a million things to put in this pendant. Now, you don't have to put anything in here if you don't want to. You can just have it as is. It looks pretty just like that. But today I'm going to be putting in some lava rock beads in here and I'm going to show you how to apply essential oils, okay? Now I know it's not for everybody. Not everybody can tolerate scented oils, but for those of you who can, I'm going to show you how to apply essential oils to lava rock beads. But we're going to do that later on, okay? We're going to be using some of these gorgeous 8mm round amethyst gemstone beads. We're also going to be using some of these 6mm round amethyst beads. We're also going to use some of these 6mm frosted glass beads and the color is sea green. We're going to be using some of these gorgeous sparkly bicone crystal beads. They're 6mm in size and the color is dark orange. We'll be using some of these faceted rondelle glass beads. They measure 6 by 4mm in dimension and this color is dark cyan. And these are the exact same size, but this color is purple rain. These are faceted rondelle glass beads as well. We'll be using some of these 4mm bicone crystal beads and this color is sea green. We're also going to be using this other color. This is a purple color and these are also 4mm in size. We'll be using this other smaller size frosted glass bead. These are 4mm in size and the color is purple. I'm going to be using a couple of these gorgeous glass leaf charms. They measure 17.5 by 10 by 2.9mm in dimension. And the color is actually a kind of a two-tone color. They're clear with a medium aqua color, but they also have like a glitter paint finish on top, okay? We'll be using some of these bell bead caps, and these are in an antique bronze color, as you can see. They measure 9 by 5mm. We'll be using some of these tiny teardrop charms. They're in an antique bronze color. And I believe they measure 7 by 2mm. They're not very big at all. We're going to be using some of these beautiful flower link connectors. They measure 16 by 8mm and they're also in an antique bronze color, as you can see. We'll be using some of the chain that came in the bag. These are twisted oval links, as you can see. They're in an antique bronze color and they measure 5 by 3.5 millimeters. Now, if you don't have this chain, you can use any kind of chain as long as it's not too chunky. I'll be using this toggle clasp that came in the bag, but any toggle clasp will do as long as it's in an antique bronze color. Now, these didn't come in the bag. These are Daisy spacers, and these are your generic Daisy spacer. As you can see, they measure about 5 millimeters across and they're in an antique bronze color. We're going to be using a few of these jump rings, and I think we're probably going to use the 5 millimeter size, but I'm not sure just yet, okay? As you can see, the bag came with various sizes, so we have choices, but I'm pretty sure we're going to use the 5 millimeter size, and these are in an antique bronze color as well. I'm probably going to use some of these size 8/0 seed beads, okay? I'm just going to use a couple of them for the charms. I'm going to be using some head pins, and these are flat head pins, and they're in a bronze color, as you can see. And they're relatively thick, okay, so that means that I'm going to be doing simple loops today. All right, so we're going to start by cutting ourselves a length of chain, and it's going to have 20 charms and the pendant, okay? And I did a little bit of math before this, and I calculated that I was going to cut myself a length that had 41 links, okay? And the reason I counted 41 links is because I'm going to attach 10 charms on one side, 10 charms on the other side, and then I'm going to hang the pendant on the center link, if that makes any sense. Of course, this is based on the size links that I'm using. So if your chain has different size links, you're going to have to come up with a different plan, okay? My plan is based on links that are 5 by 3.5 millimeters in dimension. But just to give you an idea of what 41 links measures, let me just show you. 41 links measures approximately 6.5 inches based on this kind of chain, okay? So if your chain is different, you're going to have to figure out the math, but just know that you need a piece that's between 6 and 6.5 inches long. Okay, so I'm being precise, and I'm going to go ahead and count my links, but you don't have to be this precise, guys, okay? Honestly, you really don't. You can just cut a length of chain, divide your charms so you have 10 on one side, 10 on the other, and hang the pendant in the middle. It doesn't have to be this precise, okay? But this time I'm being precise because I don't want to waste any of the chain, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and count 41 links. So here's 41 links, and now I'm going to go ahead and open up this link here. This is the 42nd link, and since they're not soldered, I'm able to open them up so I don't have to use my snippers. So here's my chain with 41 links. Let me go ahead and move the chain out of the way, and I'll go get the beads. As you can see, I have all my beads laid out for the charms. I also have Daisy spacers, jump rings, head pins, bead caps, seed beads, and these little miniature charms. So I'm going to go ahead and create 20 charms, like I said before, and each one of them is going to be different. I may have to repeat a couple of the combinations, but I'm going to try to make them as different as I can. So let me just show you, okay? Let me thread on an 8 millimeter bead, like this. And now a Daisy spacer, like this, and a seed bead. So this is one charm, and you can either loop it now or loop it later. I'm going to put it down and loop it later. Let me go ahead and create another one. This time I'm going to thread on one of these beautiful faceted rondelles and one of these bell bead caps, like this. Doesn't that look cute? And I think I'm going to add this seed bead as well. All right, so this is another charm. Let me do a different one. This time I'll do an orange bicone. And a bead cap. And let me add a seed bead as well onto this one. So this is another charm right here. Let me do another one. I think I'll thread on one of these 6 millimeter amethysts. And maybe a green bicone, like this. So here's another one. Let me go ahead and thread on one of these 6 millimeter frosted beads, and this time I'll thread on a purple 4 millimeter bead and maybe a seed bead as well. Okay, so I'm trying to make them all different, guys, okay? This is where you get to be creative and do your thing. So let me go ahead and do another one. This time I'll do an 8 millimeter bead and one of these purple ones. I love these purple ones. That is so cute. And I absolutely love these bell caps, okay? They look like flowers to me. So let me do one of these beautiful purple faceted rondelles and one of these bell cap beads. and a seed bead. So there's another charm right there. Now for these leaves, I'm going to do something a little different, okay? I'm going to attach a jump ring onto the leaf. Let me show you. Let me go ahead and open it up. And now what I'm going to do is thread on one of these little metal charms, okay, like this. Let me thread on another one. So now I have two. And now I'm going to thread the leaf charm onto this. And another two of these metal charms. So this is what we have. Isn't that cute? I am going to close it because I don't want to lose the metal charms, but I will need to open it later on when I attach it to the chain. So let me put this one down now. So anyway, guys, this gives you an idea of how I'm going to build the charms, okay? But, you know, like I said before, be creative and do your thing. And you can combine any of these beads however you want, okay? It's completely up to you. So in order to shorten this video a little bit, I'm going to speed up the camera and I'm going to continue to build my charms until I get a total of 20. Okay, as you can see, I've loaded all of my head pins with the beads, and now I'm ready to go ahead and close them off with simple loops. I've also arranged them in the way that I want them hung on the chain. There's no specific order or pattern, okay? It's just kind of random. You do want them distributed somewhat evenly though, as far as the shape and the color, and whether they have faceting or frosting or if they're gemstones. But don't get too hung up on it, guys, okay? Because by the time you hang them on the chain, you're not going to notice any of that. So let me show you how I'm going to do this, okay? I'm basically going to take this first charm and I'm going to grab the pin a little bit above the bead because you want a little space for the bend, okay? And now I'm simply going to kink it like this, as close to the bead as possible. So now we need to trim off the excess, and this is where you get to choose how big you want your loop. I usually leave myself 3/8 of an inch because that gives me a medium-sized loop, but it's up to you how big you want your loop, okay? So I'm going to use some flush cutters, and I'm going to use the flush side up against the component. And now I'm going to trim the excess, leaving myself 3/8 of an inch. And now using my round nose pliers, I'm going to grab the pin so that it's flush, and I'm going to go ahead and loop it. Just like that, okay? You can either attach it to the chain now or attach it later. It's up to you. I think I'm going to attach it later, so I'm going to go ahead and loop the rest of these and I'll come back to you. Okay, I'm back. As you can see, I created my 20 charms and I've looped all of them. I've also divided them into two sets, 10 on this side and 10 on this side. And here's my pendant. It's going to go in the center like this, okay? So now that I have everything laid out, I'm going to go ahead and start connecting them onto the chain. And since I've already counted the links and I know basically where the charms are going to go, I'm going to go ahead and connect my first charm, and it's going to go on this very first link, okay? So let me go ahead and open it up. Like this. And now I'm going to connect it to the first link of my chain like this and close it up. And you do want to make sure that you close your loops really, really well, okay? Just like that. So that's the first one. Let me get the second one. I'm going to open up the loop like this. And now I'm going to skip the next link and I'm going to connect my charm to the link after that, okay? Let me give you a close-up of where I'm connecting it, okay? So let me go ahead and close it up. Let me go ahead and show you again so you can see exactly what I'm doing, okay? And the other thing I'm going to do is connect my charms on the same side of all the links, okay? And the reason I'm doing that is because I want the charms to hang properly. So I'm going to connect them to the bottom side of the links, okay? You do need to pay attention to that, and you need to lay your chain down flat, okay? Let me go ahead and do the next one. So once again, I'm going to open up this loop like this. And now let's take a look and see where I need to connect it. And I'm going to connect it to this link right here, just like that, okay? And now let me go ahead and close it up. And let me show you once again what I'm doing, okay? As you can see, the charms are hanging on the bottom side of the links, and I'm hanging a charm on every other link, okay? I hope you can see that. Let me go ahead and open up another one. And let me take a look, and I'm going to hang it on this link right here, okay? It's a little difficult for me to show you, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing, okay? So let me go ahead and close this one now. Let me go ahead and connect this next one. Open up the loop. And now let me take a look at the orientation of these links so that I can hang it on the correct side of the chain. And let me close it up. So that's what we have so far. And now I'm going to hang this leaf charm, okay? And I want to make sure that I have 2 charms on one side of the opening of the jump ring and the other 2 on the other side, okay? So that when you attach it, you'll have 2 on one side and 2 on the other side like this, okay? Let me go ahead and open it up. Let me see if I can hook it up without dropping the charms. Like this, okay? And close it up really, really well, because these little charms have very skinny loops, okay? And you don't want any of them falling off. Let me show you what we have so far, okay? Doesn't that look adorable? I love it. So now I'm going to speed up the film, hang these 4 charms, and I'll come back to you to hang the pendant. Okay, as you can see, I hung my 10 charms, and now I'm going to hang the pendant. And that's very simple, guys. All I'm going to do is feed the chain through this bail, okay? That's all I'm going to do. Just like that, okay? And so basically that bail is going to be kept in place by the charms, okay? So let me show you exactly where we're going to hang the next charm, okay? As you can see, we have a charm on this link, and then normally we would skip another link and hang another charm on this link. But since we have the pendant, we're going to slide the pendant over this link. We're going to skip the following one and hang the charm on this one here. I hope that makes sense, okay? Let me insert a head pin in here so you can see exactly which link I'm talking about, okay? I know it's difficult to see, but that's where I'm going to hang the next charm. So let me go ahead and slide this pendant all the way over. And this is the link where I'm going to be hanging the next charm. So let me go ahead and open up the loop. Pick up my chain, remove the head pin, make sure I have the proper orientation. And now I'm going to hang my charm on this side of the link, okay? And close it up. Let me give you a close-up so you can see exactly what I've done here, okay? As you can see, I have 3 links between the charms, and that's what you want, all right? So now I'm going to hang the rest of these charms in the same way that I hung these. So I'm going to speed up the film and I'll meet you back. Okay, I'm back. As you can see, I've hung all my charms and I think it looks adorable. So now that we've completed the bottom portion of the necklace, we're going to go ahead and work on the strands. Let me go ahead and move this up so we have room. So for the strands, I'm going to start by building some beaded components, and I'm going to be using these items for the beaded components. Now instead of craft wire, I'm going to use my head pins just because I happen to have a whole bunch of these, okay? And I like using head pins from time to time because the wire is really hard. And like I said, I have a whole bunch of these. I bought a huge bag from Panda Haul a couple of years ago and I've been trying to get through them. And I would give you the Panda Haul link, but like I said, I bought these a couple of years ago and so I don't think they have them anymore. Or if they do, they probably have a different code or a different item number. But if you go on there, or even if you just go to Google or Amazon, I'm sure you can find something similar. I know it seems like a waste, but basically what I'm going to do is take the heads off and create loops. The other option is for you to use 18 or 20 gauge craft wire, okay? So let me show you what I had in mind, okay? I'm going to thread on a bead cap and one of these beads and another bead cap, and I'm going to do a simple loop at each end, okay? That's all I'm going to do. So let me go ahead and take the head off this head pin And just like before, we're going to go ahead and kink it, and you can kink it at 3/8 to 1/2 inch down, depending on how big you want your loop, okay? And now with some round nose pliers, you're going to grab the pin, okay, so that it's flush, and then go ahead and create your loop. You want to make sure that it's straight and that it's nicely closed, just like that, okay? And now let's go ahead and thread on a bead cap and a bead and another bead cap like this. Make sure your bead caps are all the way down so that it's nice and snug, okay? You don't want them to be wobbly. And now I'm going to kink my wire, okay, as close to that bead cap as I can possibly do it. Just like that. Let me trim off the excess. And now I'm going to create a loop, just like I did at the other end. You want to make sure that it's nicely closed, okay? Just like that. The other thing you want to do is to make sure the loops are lined up, okay? Like this. So that's what you should have, okay? So there's one. So now I'm going to do 3 more just like that, okay? So let me speed up the film and I'll meet you back. Okay, as you can see, I've created my components and now I'm going to go ahead and connect them. I'm simply going to take this one and open up the loop. And now I'm going to go ahead and connect it to the last link. And as you can see, I have a charm on the last link. So I want to make sure that that charm stays on the bottom side of that link, okay? So I'm going to connect my component to the top side of the link like this, okay? Let me close it up. So this is what you should have. As you can see, all of the links are still on the bottom of that chain. And now this is the beginning of the strand, okay? So now we're going to open up this loop. Just like that. And I'm going to connect one of these flower links and close it up. And let me go ahead and connect the next component. I'm connecting it to the flower link, as you can see. And let me close it up. And now let's open up this loop. And now I'm going to connect the next flower link like this and close it up. So that side's done. Now I'm going to do this side and I'm going to speed up the film. Okay, as you can see, I've connected the beaded components and the flower connector links. And now I'm going to finish the top of the necklace and I'm going to use these beads. These are the 6mm amethyst rounds. And I think I'm going to use 5 on one side and 5 on the other side. And I think what I'm going to do is build 5 beaded components. Each one of them is going to have one of these beads. I'm going to use my head pins again, but you can use craft wire, okay? Like I said before, you can use 18 gauge or 20 gauge craft wire. So once again, I'm going to take the head off, okay? And kink my wire. And now let me go ahead and form a loop. Make sure it's straight and make sure it's closed. And now let me thread on one of these beads like this. And now I'm going to kink my wire just like I've been doing, okay? Cut off the excess. Form a loop. Just like that. And let me line up my loops so they're facing in the same direction, okay? So there's one of them. So now I'm going to do the exact same thing for the other 9 and I'm going to speed up the film again and I'll meet you back. Okay, as you can see, I created 10 beaded components using the 6mm amethyst beads, and now we're going to connect them to the necklace. So once again, let's go ahead and open up one of these loops. Hook it onto this flower connector and close it up. And now we'll open up this end, connect the next beaded component and close it up. As you can see, I've connected the 6mm beaded components, and now all we have to do is connect the clasp. Here's my toggle clasp, and I have two 5mm jump rings. Once we connect the clasp, I'll go ahead and measure it. So let's go ahead and open up one of these jump rings, and I'll hook it onto this loop here. And now let me hook on the bar portion of the toggle clasp and close up my jump ring really well. And now let's go ahead and open up this jump ring. Connect it to this strand and connect the ring portion of the toggle clasp. And let's close it up. Let's go ahead and measure it. So it looks like it measures 18 inches, okay? Each one of these strands is 9 inches long. And 18 inches is a really good length. But ultimately, it's up to you how long you want your necklace. If you want something longer than this, you'll have to add some more beaded components at the top. But isn't this necklace gorgeous? I love these colors. I absolutely adore the combination of the sea green, amethyst, and the beautiful orange. And of course, I love the bronze metals. So now I'm going to show you how to add essential oils to lava rock beads so you can put them inside this cage pendant if you want to, okay? Let me put down a board to protect my mat. And here's a paper towel. I'm going to be using a couple of drops of this essential oil. It's called Happy Day and it's by Goddess Garden Organics, okay? I got this at my local grocery store. I'm also going to be using some of these lava rock beads, and they happen to be in a purple color, which matches nicely with the necklace, okay? You won't be able to see a lot of the bead because it'll be inside the cage pendant, but you'll see glimpses of it. So let me just pull out two. And it's very simple, guys. You're just going to apply a couple of drops to each of the beads. You don't need a lot. And you do need to make sure you do this over a paper towel, okay? Because you don't want the oil on any of your surfaces, okay? I'm going to apply to 4 beads because this oil is very, very mild, okay? You can barely smell it. It has like a very pretty citrusy smell, okay? And I know that it does wear out very quickly, so that's another reason why I want to use 4 beads. And I would definitely let the oil soak in for about an hour before inserting them into the pendant, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and put them in the pendant now just to show you what it looks like. So here's my pendant, and I'm simply going to put them inside like this. Very easy. Close it up. And that's it. And you can kind of see them a little bit, and I love the color. They match really nicely with the rest of the beads on this necklace. So anyway, guys, there's the gorgeous cage pendant necklace with the charms and the lava rock beads. And I think it's absolutely adorable. I love the colors and I love the bronze metals. And I love that there are gemstones. And as you know, amethyst is my birthstone and it's my favorite gemstone. So now I'd like to go ahead and put it on and show you what it looks like. You know, this necklace looks really nice inside, but it looks so much better outside when you can see the color of the glass and the color of the beads. I absolutely love this necklace. I hope you like it as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.